FSB Racing, here we are again. New season, same usual suspects. Pro Cup Series Wednesday nights, and that's what they've been doing for, as we just heard in the drivers' meeting right before we came on the air, 25 seasons. Thank you to Johnson Truck Lines for sponsoring the Pro Cup Series. Top 4 will get trophies. We appreciate the sponsorship very much. That means a lot. It means a lot to the guys that get those trophies. As you see, qualifying here as happy hour comes to an end. Rick Johnson on the pole, Sam Young outside pole. That was some. Rick Johnson had a great season last year. Kind of disappointed in the chase. I'm sure he comes out laser focused. We're missing a couple FSB. Legend names. Matt Watkins, defending Pro Cup champion, is missing tonight, and of course my partner in many broadcasts, Milt Mintner Jr., is away on location and cannot join us. He's working hard for a living, and we appreciate everything Milt does, and shout out to you, Milt, thinking of you, and get that posted up for you so you can watch it as soon as possible. As I said, happy hour winding down here. Rick Johnson on the pole. Decent sized field here. 19 cars are going to be taking the green flag here. So we'll move down to Rick Johnson here on the pole. Let's take a look at some these paints here. Here we go. See Rick Johnson in the red box Dodge Charger. Puts himself right on that pole where he needs to be. Alongside of him, there you see Sam Young in the Predator Impala. AdVision. That's Sam, also a sponsor to the league, and we appreciate everything Sam does. Runs the King of the Hill off-season fun. And we always look forward to admin. Sam does it all here. Here we see the 51 and Dave Jandry. Of course, Super Speedway master Dave Jandry. Beside him is the 06 Bill Farmer and the Sheetrock. Good sponsorship. Troy Higgins in the Twitter Impala. The 29 of Jeff Hale there and the Walking Dead Impala. Looking good. I'm glad I got Jeff's paint in right under the gun. There's the boss man, the CEO, COO, CFO, FSB Racing, founder and president, Jim Ray. He's in the company car, the 96, and he'll be looking to do damage. Jim's a great super speedway racer. Don't let him fool you. There's the man, Robert Bokum, in the 18 car. Working on getting him a fresh coat of paint. I overheard in the driver's meeting. He's got a fresh coat coming in. There's the 83 of Steve Weber. 99 of Posse Markerson right beside him there. And as we keep going through the field, Jerry Fulcrum in Furniture Row 78. Rookie Michael Gallen, who, congratulations, as Michael takes the green flag here, he will be Rookie of the Year by virtue of being the only rookie graduate to the most prestigious level. I'm sure he's very excited to be part of this great field, and let's see what he can do. He's a great driver, and I look for good things to only come from him. There's veteran Sean Johnson. Had a up and down year. I think he wants to work on the down parts, which I think he can correct, and I think he can be a force to reckon with championship-wise this year. A little further back, we see the 17, a T-Roy, Grey Goose Vodka Fusion. Right next to him, the GoPro Ken Ron, T.G. Reese in the Youngling Impala, Guy Petra in the SCX Digital Mustang, Joe Cutt in the Wrangler Camaro, and Mark DeSenza bringing up a shotgun on the field as you hear the engines rev. We have a green flag. Mark DeSenza bringing up the rear of the field there in the bad boy Boca Motorsports Impala. So we'll go back to the front here, and our pole sitter Rick Johnson let him down, and he has the fast line working so far as Sam drops back on the outside line. The lines here both will work if you have the right personnel lined up proper. You can make that outside work, and you got to be careful here. And Sam gets down low, and even before we can settle in, we got a big wreck. Looks like Jeff Hale, Sam Young, the 53, the 96 down on the grass, 53's in the grass, the 6 is involved. It looked like the 88 might have tiptoed through there. Carnage early on as Sam on the high line. Looked like the car got loose. Cold tires, and a dubious start for the Pro Cup season here at Daytona, with Sam getting a little squirrely there. And let's take another look at it. As you see, they got off to a clean start with Rick Johnson there on the inside, Sam Young on the outside. What it looked like is Sam kind of drifted down low, and when he tried to correct, the car car looked like just got away from him, which is very uncharacteristic of Sam. Let's take another look. As you know, you see the 06 and there's maybe a little door-to-door there as they went into the corner, and Sam did get down a little too low and had nowhere to go. And the 29 and the 96 hard hit. Wow, that's some carnage, unfortunately. And yeah, that's too bad. You don't like seeing that so early on in a race. But I don't know if Sam thought he had a hole there to go into, or if the car got away from him. I don't know. Hard to tell from the replay. We'll take a look at it. And you can see as the wreck happened, and there we see the smoke from the wreck. And there we see Jim Ray, there we see Robert Bokum, there's the 19 of Troy Higgins on the outside there. Sam already sideways in a big way. Let's take this back just a few frames here. And you can see Sam appears to go either for a hole that wasn't there, or the car got away from him, and really made hard contact there with the 29 of Jeff Hale. And as you can see, Jeff nowhere to go, tried to get off of him, and then as Sam hit the wall, really heavy contact with the wall there. He did get a piece of Jeff, and that sent him into the wall as well. There we see the 51 of Dave Jandry. The 18 of Robert Bokum down on the apron taking evasive action. Dave Jandry nowhere to go as well. Some contact, maybe not heavy contact there. Pops gets by, but some hard contact with some guys hitting walls. And there we can see the carnage. The carnage behind this accident, as we see Sean down on the apron. There's a rookie not expecting this, I'm sure. There we see T-Roy in trouble. Jim Bossman got heavy contact. There's a 303 hitting hard. TG down there about to get collected. as we see hard contact, 303, 96, 53. Sam getting roughed up. There we see the 6 car throwing his car into a spin. Looks like maybe that was a wise move, as cars scattered all over. There's Jerry in trouble. Guy looks like may have skated by on the outside there. Yes, he did. And let's go back live. We're still under caution, of course. That's why I took the time to look at that, and also because I figured some people are going to be retired, and the 98 is out of the race in the accident. The 96 has to have heavy damage. The boss man, I don't know if he has any engine damage, but man, some hard hits. Moderate damage though, so he stays on the lead lap. So everyone else stays on the lead lap. One car only retired. I guess it could be worse. So we'll keep an eye on some of these cars that were involved to see if they can keep the pace, or if they're gonna fall off at the draft. There we see the 29, the 53, the 6. All these guys had to come to pit. There's the 88. I think Joe Cudd actually skated through that, tiptoed through the tulips. There we see the 303 and the 18 coming in. The 7 in. 51 did have some contact there with Jeff. Teammates there. I know that's heartbreaking when you have an accident with your teammate. Obviously, nowhere for Dave to go there, and Jeff really was a passenger in that whole thing, unfortunately. And hopefully Jeff can keep going there. We see him down in 15th after coming into the pits. Rick Johnson, of course, stays away from the melee. As did the 06. These cars, the 83 of Steve Webb, these guys tiptoed through the tulips and made it through, and Pops Marguson also did, and Sean also did. We saw Sean down on the apron, snuck by as the cars, just really self-cleaning track there, just swept from the high wall all the way down and just collected. It was just a collection area, just like we were seeing on television there at Talladega. Obviously, Daytona a lot different than Talladega, but man, that was a heck of a way to start the Pro Cup season, folks. Not what I expected, but it happens, and that's why they call them accidents. And they'll keep racing. We're only on lap 5 of 80, so settle in, folks. Settle in. Okay, well, there we see our running order. The 52 of Rick Johnson is your leader. The 06, Bill Farmer second. 83, Steve Webb. Big Cactus in third. Pops in fourth, and Sean in fifth. So as I said, Sean started in the back, but now with that wreck, was able to move up. We're getting back to green flag racing here. And now we're all single file, as every car is on the lead lap. Only Sam retired from that accident and the damage from the hard hits there. So every car still on the lead lap. 18 cars remaining. Rick Johnson leading them down. Everyone kind of lining up now. There we see Guy Petra making a move on the outside. I don't know if he got shuffled out there or if he made a move on his own, but 51 of Dave Jandry is going to take full advantage of that, right behind on the bumper of Sean Johnson. And Guy doesn't have many friends out there on the outside line, as we see other cars falling off, as I said, from that damage. The 88 of Joe Cudd hanging on to this draft here. Guy Petra on the outside. You got to be careful on these cold tires. As we saw, Sam on cold tires there. Got a little too close and had some contact, and we had a fairly good sized wreck there. So outside line is a little tricky until these cars settle in. And we see the 6 on the outside desperately trying to hang on to this draft. And also the 53 TG Reese, who was also involved in that first wreck there. And then there's a group of 3 here that may be able to just cling to hopes of catching this lead draft pack. That's the 78, the 18, and the 19, I believe. Yes, it's the 19 of Troy Higgins, 18 of Robert Bokum. As you can see, they're getting a pretty good run on the inside here, so I think they will catch these lead pack cars. As the 78 goes high, Jerry's was also involved in that first wreck, so I don't know if he's suffering from that, or if it was enough that could be repaired and not have a huge impact. Remember, moderate damage on the super speedway, so it's possible to have a little damage and then get it fixed and be able to be competitive. And we see as we get further up here, the 6 of Mark DeSenza is making his move on the outside, and he's making some headway. 5 and 6 teammates: Sean Johnson, Mark DeSenza, Boca Motorsports, 51 to Dave Jandry, Slim Sim. Teammates with Jeff Hale, I believe, out there, and so looks like Dave is able to soldier on for the team. The 29 of Jeff Hale, unfortunately, was heavily involved in that first incident, and looks like the damage has taken a toll on him, as he's not able to keep this draft on the restart. You can see a long line on that inside. Guy Petra again. Mark DeSenza was able to duck in and take advantage of his maneuvering on the outside to score a nice inside position now. So good job by Mark, coming from the back of that lead drafting pack all the way up to a comfortable position. So nice job there. As you can see, everyone getting in line here and trying to log some laps here as we drive to the first hopefully green flag stop, as we're only on lap 11 here. Some guys obviously from that first incident had to pit, so they topped up even, so didn't catch the fuel mileage, but I think it's somewhere in the 20 lap range. I think ideally you'd like to get 20 laps, so 20 20 20, and you can move on. But some guys can now go beyond that. Of course, you'd like to go maybe 21 just to ensure yourself of getting to the end. So the guys that topped up there will be able to do that. The guys that didn't will hopefully were clutching and stuff, and they'll be able to hit lap 20 comfortably. So we'll see how that goes if we stay green here, which I certainly think we will. It has a kind of a green flag look here as we get a long line on that inside line. Inside line is shortest way around, and the fastest way around right now, with Rick Johnson firmly in the lead here. 06 of Bill Farmer right behind him. 83 of Steve Weber right behind him. So you got those three have stayed together since this green flag has restarted the race. Sean Johnson 4th, Dave Jandry 5th, and 6 of Mark DeSenza joining in that group. So as we said, Mark coming from the back of this lead pack to the 6th position, the only one really making any significant movement here. So nice job by Mark, as you see the line snake down the straightaway, and is playing follow the leader right now, which is really what you want to do with this at this time. You want to log laps, you want to get to the green flag, and you hope that your pitting group will separate from the rest of it, and you'll be able to gain that advantage for the rest of that run, and then you can compound it with the next one, and etc., etc. Then you have a group of 4 or 5 guys that are comfortably out front for the final dash to decide it amongst yourself, instead of a big glob of cars that we see here that
Greg, this is Jeff Hill.
Get dicey.
If you want to, you can pull me up with Booth, and I'll broadcast with you.
Okay, and unfortunately, I think we're going to be joined shortly by the 29 car of Jeff Hale. Let me just double check here. And it looks like, yeah, he is out of the race, so we're going to see if we can drag him on up here. And we are joined now by the 29. Jeff Hale had a tough break, lap 1, first race of the new season, and not the way you wanted to end your first race, Jeff.
No, definitely not, but those things happen, I guess. So I'll just join you up here in the booth and watch this exciting thing fold out.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it looks like the guys have learned their lessons from that first wreck. They've raced pretty cleanly now. The second line is starting to redevelop, and that's when, of course, things can get dicey. The outside line is fast, but sometimes if you get too close to that inside line car, it's almost like a magnet pull. You want to come together.
Prime example. No, you sure don't. I know earlier, it seems like for the outside to work, you just really got to have the more cars up there than you do the low line for it to really have any effect.
And I think personnel also makes a big difference. When you get hooked up with the right set of guys, it seems you can take off, and other times it seems like you can do one of those, you make up a little ground, then you lose it, then you make it up, and then you lose it, kind of thing. But right now, Mark DeSenza's on the march. He started in the back of this pack, and now he's leading that outside line with teammate Robert Bokum hanging out with him on the outside, and they're making some headway there with just 4 cars. That low line can really stack up as you hit the corner, though.
Yeah, if you notice those guys on the high lane, one of my secrets to the super speedways, if you can stay right on that bumper, as much as possible, as close as you can, you can gain a few tenths and keep that momentum and speed up. And that's the trick to keeping the speed and getting around this place.
And you can see as the low line sticks together, the outside line is slowly giving up its ground that it gained. And like as you said, Jeff, with fewer cars on the outside than the inside, maybe they're fighting a losing battle right now.
Yeah, and they might just be doing a little bit of testing. It's early on just to see what the outside can do, so they can kind of set their plans up for what they want to do later on in the race too.
Yeah, it is a good thing to get the feel of that outside line before you try it with 10 laps to go and realize that it's a little slippery out there than you thought. So yeah, this could be a dress rehearsal for later on when they need maybe to use that outside line to get around a stubborn Rick Johnson or something like that, who I think is happy right where he is, and I think that's where his car's going to be the rest of this race if he has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Rick definitely had a strong qualifying run. He's fast here, so he'll definitely be one of the ones to watch for.
of course, the 51, talk about him. He's a super speedway guru.
Yeah, me and old Dave, we run good together on these tracks, and we always have great pit stops and get around here pretty quick. So Dave's another good one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and of course, in that wreck there, he was oh so close to getting really involved, and it looked like he did make some contact, unfortunately, with you. But it looks like the car is running very good. So if any repairs were made, he's done it right.
Pit stops are going on.
Yeah, we can see some guys right around lap 20. That's the magic number, of course. Some guys topped up, and it looks like the majority of them are going around again. Let's go back through, and our leader, Rick Johnson, in the pits. And he's all the way down to that very first pit lane, which is a big advantage, except he overshot it just a bit and had to back up. So that can equal a lot of time on pit road and on the track. And you can see that the 06 and it looks like the 99 were able to get around him. So now Rick down to third. From that exchange, I expect the rest of the field to be coming in very shortly. As you can see him making one more lap here. The 6 of Mark DeSenza in the lead pack now is your new leader. 19, Troy Higgins right behind him, second. These guys should all be pitting shortly. 18 of Robert Bokum. And 5 is Sean Johnson, so a lot of Boca Motorsports personnel at the lead pack. No surprise there.
Yeah, Mark's coming in. Sean Johnson.
See another group of cars here. Only a group of 3, though, are coming in. And not the hardest pit lane to get in. You can be aggressive here and attack the line just a bit as long as you're on those brakes when you do it. And on super speedways, your in lap and your out lap are huge, and that can really separate you from the rest of the pack when you hit it just right.
That's right. This big old track comes down to a game of inches and being mistake free. If you can nail those pit stops, man, you just gain so much more time and length on the other cars.
And it looks like the 6 and the 5 nailed them, fuel only for both. And they did both get in together, and they're both coming out together, and that's what you need here. You got to have drafting partners. The more the better, but if you need at least a couple to get up to some speed to keep the rest of the guys as they come up to you, so you're up to speed to keep up with them. So as guys are getting back onto the track and blending back in, we'll see who was the winner of the first green flag stop.
Yeah, third group's in now too with Dave and Jim, Robert, Troy Higgins.
Yeah, that's the final group as we see Troy leading them off with Robert right behind him. There's Dave and TG. So nice big group there, and it looked like they all nailed it. That was looking back here. We see there's the 51, the 53 coming out all together. There's the boss man, of course, involved in that first incident. He's already a lap down. I think he has some issues there. But there we see that first pitting pack here coming up to speed, and Steve Weber leading that pack. Guy Petro right behind him. And Bill Farmer in the third spot there of that group.
Robert's going back in.
Robert Welcome back in the pits. He must have got a penalty. If he just does a drive-through, we'll know what happened.
Yep, and that's what it is.
And good call there, Jeff. That's the other thing that can bite you here. Over-aggressive pit stop can cost you the race, and not that Robert's out of any race until the checker flag flies, and I see that he's not in P1. Then I know that he hasn't won. Other than that, he's still a factor, if you ask me. All he needs is one caution.
That's right.
And he won't give up.
No, he never gives up. You know, anything could happen, and this track usually does.
Yeah, absolutely. And there we see the 7, Michael Gallen. As Jim was saying, as he took the green flag, he becomes your rookie of the year by not by saying his talent wouldn't win him the rookie of the year, but he's the only rookie this year. So what can you do? It's not his fault. He's the only rookie. But he's a great racer, and he'll fit in perfectly here. And I don't think anyone will even have any issues with him. He's good. He knows his tracks, and he's pretty fast.
It looks like we got a 9-car breakaway now after all the pit stops. And see 2 cars back there in the tail end, barely trying to hang into that draft.
Yeah, it looks like that's the 88 and the 52. So Rick Johnson did not have a good pit stop. And Jeff, as you said, when you hit it just right, you gain great ground. But when you don't, you can lose big ground. And I think Rick's paying the price right now for having to back up in the pits there. They're right on the verge of that draft. I think if this big line stays in line, they'll pull away from them. But if they get to too wide at all, that should help them. But this lead pack here, Pops is the anchor car there as we move up through the pack. We see Steve Weber, TG. There's the 51 Dave Jandry, and the 19 of Troy Higgins leading this pack. So you see that Rick is about 0.8 of a second behind this lead group, and that's still close enough, I think, to catch that draft. And it looks like he may have caught it a little more this time around. And he sure has. And I think they're good now. That's a great job of driving there.
If he was another 2 or 3 tenths, further back, I don't think they would have caught him.
Yeah, it's amazing how this huge 2.5 mile track, just 1/10 of a second, plus or minus, can decide your fate. But we see the 19 and the 51 just nose to tail, and trying to just push this pack along, and they're looking very steady, and looks like this group is content right now to just do what they have to do to work to basically the next pit stop, which, as we can see, will be just maybe 10 to 12 laps away.
Yeah, right now it's like a Sunday drive on Wednesday night. They're just going to ride and file and let things play out, and then after that last pit stop is when we're going to start seeing the fireworks.
And we can see, as you see the racing numbers there in the corner of your screen, there's another pack of basically 3 cars, the 7, the 303, and the 78, who are still on the lead lap, 12th, 13th, and 14th, and then Robert Bochum did manage to stay on the lead lap in 15th, but taking that drive-through. And Jim and T-Roy, who got involved in that earlier incident, are a lap down. But certainly not out of it if the car is now fixed and up to speed, and you just need to get that lap back. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's all they would need here to maybe get right back in it. But we'll see what happens here. But it's basically an 11-car pack.
Yeah, and Robert's a sitting duck right now. He's riding by himself with no draft, and it's just gonna be a matter of time before the group catches him.
Yeah, and as we can, we see Robert there, and it's lonely, isn't it, when you're driving by yourself here at Daytona?
Yeah, that car just seems like it doesn't have any power when you're out there by yourself. I mean, you just lose so much speed, without that draft.
And and they'll slowly reel him in each lap, probably 2 or 3 seconds, and hopefully he'll be able to blend into this pack and hold on to the lead draft at least. And the closer up, the better, because if a caution does come out and he's up by the leaders, he may be able to steal it back.
Yeah, if he can stay within that group and stay up toward the front, and maybe he can get a caution and get lucky and get back into the thick of things.
Because obviously his car has any issues with it. He just got the black flag, so he has, I think, plenty of fast enough car to stay with him. So, but sometimes when the pack comes roaring by you, Jeff, it's daunting. You're given the ground for the leaders, of course, and you want to duck in. But sometimes as you duck in, they're going so fast, they're by you, and you miss it.
Well, Robert's a smart driver for sure, and when he sees that pack coming, he'll definitely get out of the way and race him clean and let him go, and then he'll tuck in where he can and just ride and let things play out from there. And like I say, hopefully if things go right for him, he can get back on the lead lap.
So we see Troy and Dave and TG and Steve. These guys have been right at the front of this pack this whole run. As we hit lap 34, so inside of 10 laps to the next green flag stops, it looks like.
Yeah, and I'm sure Rick's thinking about that first stop where he's going to be on his P's and Q's from now on and try not make no more mistakes and work himself back up to the front too.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, knowing where his position is in this drafting group here, he can't afford to make any mistake, or he'll miss out on the entire line. If you're at least if you're the leader and you make a mistake, you can blend back in. At the tail end, you got to be perfect.
That's right.
And with that, first pit stop, he can make ground up on pit lane, Jeff. Always that first pit stall always gives you that little edge. Yeah, this group has been very content to stay in line and log the laps as we're getting close to the halfway point of the race. So still a very lengthy race to go. When you hit halfway, you still have minimum of one stop to make. Obviously, guys need to hit lap 40 here to keep on the 3-stop strategy.
I think their magic number would be to make it to lap 42. I think you can get 19 runs or 19 laps on a run.
And we saw as we saw in those first green flag stops, the group did fragment out into about I'd say it took them about 3 to 4 laps to all come in. If we see that again, it'll be interesting because that obviously the guys coming in last that can blend back in have a huge advantage come the last stop. Less fuel and they'll have better track position. That could be a big difference.
Yeah, one thing that's hurting Troy Higgins, even though he's leading, which is a good thing, he's using more fuel than anybody else, pulling this train along too.
That's right. The leader always has to cut that air for the rest of this the pack, and as a result, the fuel mileage does take a hit. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Troy might be the first to signal that he's coming in. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And we'll see how many takers go with him, and that's, as the leader, you're always wondering, without the benefit of teammates, of course. When you go in, how many people are gonna go in with you, or are you gonna come in solo? Because that's a lonely feeling as you go down pit lane, seeing no one behind you.
That's why it's a great thing to have teammates working with you, and it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So, and there we see him. They have caught Robert, and Troy, teammate, of course, last season of Boca Motorsports. I think they did with the team rule changes. There's some restructuring going on over there, so I'm sure they'll settle that out. But as you can see, the 19 giving the 18 a lot of benefits here, staying behind them and giving them a push. And as we said, the 18 car is not damaged by any means or off the pace. So if he's fast enough, he should be able to keep this line going with no one really knowing the difference.
Yeah, that's right. And great thing for Robert. Good thing he had the leader who was a teammate to catch him and push him there along. Because if it was anybody else, they would have.
Yeah, that would have been as they say, the freight train would have been tracking on by.
Oh, like Weber got loose, went below the caught the apron just a hair and shot him up to the outside, and he's going to lose a position or two there.
Yeah, he's going to lose probably a bunch of positions. There's a gap there after Bill Farmer that he could duck into in front of Rick Johnson, but that closed quickly. Rick saw the thing and said, I'm taking I got to take everything I can get, man.
Well, speaking of Rick, he's coming in.
Yeah, and I see a couple other guys. The 06 is coming in, and the 99 also coming in. So 3 cars coming in. And this is lap 41, so good call. Your call is 42. These are the first guys hitting 41. So let's see if we can follow Rick in here. He hits his pit there much better. He's getting tires. He's getting 2 tires. He's getting fuel now. Much better stuff for Rick Johnson. As you can see now, he leaves in front of both of them. So the advantage of the first pit stall. Let's see as we go back through here. Let's see the rest of this pack. There we see Robert Bokum still ahead of this pack, so he's managed to hang on right where he needs to be. The leader is the 19, right behind Robert, and we'll see when this pack is getting ready to come in. They're on lap 42. That's the number that you called out. Let's see how many guys come in.
Well, I see Dave's coming in, and Jim, Mark DeCenza, and TG, and Joe Cutter.
So we do have a large group of guys coming in.
And Robert's coming in with these guys too.
And there's a lot of cars coming in. Everyone gets in safely. It didn't look like anyone was going too fast. Obviously too fast, I should say. So it looks so far so good, but it's a very busy pit lane. And you can see there the 51 had to kind of maneuver around. And all these little things can add up to just missing out. And it's frustrating. As you can see, the cars in and out, fuel only for a bunch of them. But they all come out in a group, and that's important as well. So you can get right up to speed as fast as possible.
Yeah, and this big old group is a lot tighter than the when Rick Johnson and them guys pitted. They were kind of separated coming out, so that might hurt them a little bit. We'll see how it plays out when everybody gets back up to speed.
And there we see Rick, and there's the 99 who was one of his group that pitted, and as Jeff said, they are kind of strung out, and there's the 6, so they're struggling to get back up to speed, and yeah, that's gonna be costly, as you said, because they're not really drafting like they would want to be. We're hitting lap 43 right now, and we're still waiting for some of these last cars to pit. And this is when things can get dicey, as cars are going full speed and cars getting up to speed. Looks like everyone staying safe so far.
Yeah, and Robert's doing what he needs to do. He's still staying out in front of this group, so he's hanging on to the tail end.
Yeah, and we can see that the 19 and 51 have kept their positions very nicely. 6 of Mark DeCenzo right with them, so there's a 4-car pack. And TG trying to join this group. He's kind of separate. And then there's a group of 3, the 88, the 5, and the 151 trying to run him down. And they would definitely run TG down. And that will only help them catch the 3 in front of them. So looks like this pack has stayed fairly intact. Looks like Steve Weber was up a little further ahead there, so I don't know if he had a poor pit stop or something else came up, but I think he was up with in the top 3 or 4, and now looks like he's in danger of losing the draft completely.
Yeah, I think you're right. And of course, after those pit stops, also noticed Rick Johnson, and I think it was Pops. They're running, just by themselves, and lost this lead draft.
Yeah, and as you said, it looked like they were not clean coming out. Rick had a great pit stop. It looked like the other 2 were a little slower, and that hurt Rick actually, because he was not able to get up to speed fast enough to hang on to that lead pack. Him and Pops really have separated. It looks like the 06 of Bill Farmer is gone. I don't know what happened to Bill. They all pitted together. It looked everything was okay. I don't know if he got a black flag, or there we see him running by himself now. Not sure if what happened to him, but that really hurt Rick and Pops, as they're all by themselves, as you said, and they're not going to get any. They're not going to get any faster. But it looks like Webb was able to hang on to the draft, so he's still in the hunt. And anyone in this lead pack can take advantage from at any time. You never know. You get the right run. You get the right cars behind you, and you can get pushed very easily here.
Well, I know Dave running in second probably have his hands full. He's surrounded by the Balkan boys. I know they're going to be working together, which Dave does have Joe Cutter back there, I believe, in 5th. So get those 2 guys hooked up, and maybe they can make a move.
Yeah, and as you said, teammates are crucial at all times, but on super speedways even more so. So we'll see if Joe's run a great race so far. He's had a battle to stay in this lead group, and he's done well. He's made quality pit stops, and as you said, the pit stops have really paid off for this group, who's all been clean. They've been in and out very nicely. And as a result, they might be the ones deciding who wins this first race of the season. We're on lap 49. So, again, we should see cars maybe coming in at, what would you say there, 62 or so?
Yeah, it should be 62. It should be their last stop.
Well, of course, Robert there running right in front of this group is obviously would like a caution. Obviously, he doesn't want to see any of his teammates be the cause of it or anything. But in his current state, it's not looking very good for him. This has a kind of a green flag feel to it. So doing what he can do by staying out front here. Certainly not slowing the group down, so that's the only thing that matters if you're a potential lap down car. If you can drive just as fast as the leaders will respect it. If you're not, the leaders expect you to respect that they're the leaders and move aside.
Yeah, I imagine Robert's looking for anything inside his car to throw out to get a debris caution with cans and napkins or whatever. But you never know. Still got a ways to go, and anything could happen.
Yeah, and the only thing you can do is put yourself in the position, and if you're in a lap down position, this is exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, with him pulling the train too, with his teammate right behind him, that's helping him also save a little bit of fuel. So
yes, it is.
Maybe they could make sure they can gamble and make it now.
Let me see. 151 taking a little glance on the outside, but this is a group that looks like is content again to run to this final stop and then see what happens. See some of the beautiful scenery here at Daytona. 76 is no longer the fuel of NASCAR, but I always like the 76 sign. It's best.
I got to give a shout out to TG. He's hanging tough right there, running in fourth, and I'm sure he would love to have a victory here at the first race of the season.
Oh yeah, that really sets your season right. And if you're in this group, obviously you've already separated from the rest of the field, so you know that the winner is going to come from this pack. So why not be you? I mean, all you have to do is get yourself ahead of everyone else. And if you're TG, this is a great race. He drove. He had a great season. He had some solid runs last season. He took a win in Winston Cup. So TG's on a roll. And you can see that these cars look like they're the only ones on the track. And really they are, because the other cars are basically on the other side, about a half a lap or so away. And really, without the benefit of a caution, those guys will not see any chance of victory.
And I'm sure these guys are thinking now about that last stop, what they need to do, make sure they're going to hit the marks, and teammates are communicating with each other and, deciding on who's going to take what lane going in, coming down to pit road to avoid any carnage, to have a shot there at the win there at the end.
Yes, and this pack really pitted as one last stop and came out as one. And that's a large group. I'm wondering now if a little more team strategy will play if Boca Motorsports all peel off together and hope to catch everyone else out, and then just all work together to give one of their guys a chance at the win. It'll be interesting to see who goes where and how they call out these pits. There's no hard and fast FSB rule that says you have to call out the pit right as you hit the start finish line. These guys might play some strategy here and throw up a pit as they hit turn 3 or something to give people something to think about. It's been known.
I think if they had a little bit more fuel to play with, they might would do it. But the way I see it, I think they're all just going to come in together. I think if they were to stay out an extra lap, they might be taking too big of a gamble and run out of fuel before they hit pit road. If they come in a lap earlier than everybody else, they might be stretching it to make it also.
Well, I think once you hit 60, if you hit pit lane at 60, you got to do 20 laps. I don't know if I think you can make it. If you hit 61, you certainly can make it. We'll see if any 61 guys are going to come in.
Well, that's one thing about these guys is they're not only drivers, but they have to be crew chiefs too to make that important call. And I'm glad it's them tonight, not me.
Yeah, like you said, this is where teammates, you can talk it out. If you have 4 heads thinking about strategy, it's always better than one. And I'm sure once they got more than halfway through this run, that was all they were talking about. And we're on lap 58, so we're about 3 to 4 laps away from seeing what's going to happen. See a 151 jump out again, testing the outside waters. Don't think he's finding them to his liking just yet.
Yeah, I think he's just taunting him just a little bit. I know he's got to stay down low with these pit stops getting ready to come up.
Of course, the 151 and the 83 teammates. Maybe he's looking for a little teammate help on the outside, and Webb's just like, look, I'm just going to ride to the pit stop, man. Get on the outside and get hung up, then you could be in trouble.
Yeah, we got Monsoon in this pack, and of course Balcom and Slim Sim, and I think TG's the only one that really doesn't have a teammate, but he's sitting in a prime position where these guys make a move and make a mistake, he could be right there to pounce.
Absolutely, and you can see he's been very patient. He hasn't pressed the issue. He hasn't, gotten right up on his bumper. He's sitting right in a nice pocket, just drafting, minding his own business. Probably got good gas mileage, so he can do the full, the full stop and have no worries of making it to the end. We see a couple guys, it looks like the Monsoon boys peeled off from this main pack, so we'll see how that works out for them. So they're the first takers here of this lead pack at lap 61. So just two out of the pack there, which they're going to have perfect stops and get out as quickly as possible if they're going to want to blend back in.
Yeah, and plus they were at the back of this pack too, so they got their work cut out.
Yeah, and we'll see how good that was Guy Petra and Steve Weber.
Big pit stop coming up now. A bunch of them coming in.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on the boys here as they all come down. The 19 in, locking them up hard. Locking them up really hard. Let's hope no speeding penalties. There's a 51, the 6, the 88, the 5. Bossman is also in with this pack. He's a lap down, unfortunately. 17 also a lap down. Joe Cutt. There's the 6 car. Mark DeSenza. Not the best pit stall for Mark DeSenza. So that can play a factor there. Did we see the 51 coming out just behind the 6? So the race off pit road here. Let's see how they sort themselves out. There's a 19, Troy Higgins. You can see now Robert taking a rear guard position, which is nice to have the 18 car behind you. And that's like a security blanket if there ever was one. And we see as they get up to speed here, the 6 and the 51 trying to play catch up to the 19 and 18. Should be able to do it. They all look pretty close together. And then we see the 7 of Michael Gallen. He's a lap down. But the more the merrier in this group if they can push themselves back to the lead guys. And
Dave got black flag. He had to go back in.
So that's the other downfall of cutting it to the razor's edge. Speed down pit lane. Looks like his night will be done, unfortunately. So let's see what TG. Looked like TG was not part of this pitting group, so we did not looking at the looking at the monitor here. Shows TG the only car not to pit right now. So trying to pick up where TG is, and I think we found him.
Yeah, that's just really going to hurt his time when he does pit.
Yeah,
he's definitely going to lose this draft.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to catch up to that lead pack now. As the 83 and 151 who are on the tail end of that pack have also fallen off a couple seconds, so they will not be part of that draft either. As we get back to the front here, we see the 06 Bill Farmer is lap down, but he is the first car in this group. But the leader is the 19 right behind him of Troy Higgins. 18 of Robert Bokum is also a car lap down. So the leader is sandwiched between two lap down cars right now. But everyone is going up to speed, so no harm in running that way. But this lead pack really thinned out on that last stop, Jeff.
Yeah, it sure did. And maybe Troy Higgins is sitting pretty good right now. He's surrounded by a bunch of his teammates, and those guys are sitting pretty.
As they move to the high side to get around the 06, so it looks like the 06 was not willing to cede the ground there, and the 19 made the decision to go high, and of course you said, the 18 and the 6 teammates go with him, push them right around the 06, and once they clear, which should be very shortly, they'll duck down there and get another buffer in front of them.
Well, Sean Johnson and Joe Cutter's trying to draft as much as they can off of Bill.
And this
so that could help him out a little bit.
Yeah. And there's really only 4 cars now in this lead group. So it was at one point, Jeff, it was 11 cars. Now it went to 4 just from the green flag exchanges. So tell me the pit stops weren't important.
Always important. Races are won and lost on the pits.
And
never fails.
Yeah, when you got 60, 70 green flag laps in a row, it's crucial. And right now, the winner is the 19 car. He did everything the right way, put his car right where it needs to be, and he hasn't made any mistakes. And the 6 is the second place car. He's third in the running order, but all 3 teammates, actually all 4 now, with the 5 car join in the fray. So a Boca Motorsports procession at the front. And then there's Joe Cutter trying to crash the party. And he has a couple cars with him now. I don't know if they're up to speed or if they have any damage, but I mean, if you're Joe Cutter, you really have nothing to lose by trying to make a run on the outside, because your position is basically locked in right now.
That's right.
But of course, you don't make that move until you absolutely have to, and plenty of laps. Still more than 10 laps left. Who knows what can happen at the front? An engine can blow up. Weird things can happen in sim racing. So you only want to make that move when you have to. But he knows he's not going to get any help from the front 4. So when he makes the move, if those other 2 guys go with him, he might be able to steal a position or so.
Well, we're down to 10 to go.
And it looks like this running, at least the top 4, I think, would be content to just let this race run the final 10 laps just as is. We'll see if Joe Cutt has anything to say about it.
Well, like you say, Joe doesn't have anything to lose, and obviously he's going to have to try and make a move on the outside and possibly get a little bit of side draft and do what he can do. He's definitely going to have some help, and looks like one fell off back there, so he probably just has one car that's going to possibly go with him.
Yeah, and I don't know if that'll be what he needs. But you can get a really good run on someone if you lay off just a bit, and then as you get down that straightaway, right toward as you enter the turn, you get a tremendous run. And sometimes you can use that to catapult into the corner and gain the ground. Well, we're hitting 8 laps to go. 19 has had him covered for a good portion of this race. Troy Higgins looking very comfortable leading this race. And he has a lot of backup. Boca Motorsports teammates 2 and 3. And throw in the 18 who's a lap down from a black flag in for good measure. And you got the top 4 really protecting the lead, and the only outsider is the 88 of Joe Cutt, right behind Sean Johnson there, and he's obviously biding his time to when he's trying to give himself the best chance to steal a position and get those points, and that's what it's all about when you're here. And as we said, Joe Cutter really got nothing to lose, as they're 7 seconds ahead of any other cars. So any move he makes, if it's either he gets a benefit and grabs a position, or he finishes right where he is right now. So we'll see if he has anything for him.
Yeah, my hat goes off to Troy. this far to this race, he's run good, been out front, stayed out of trouble, nailed his pit stops, and mistake free, and that's what it takes to be out front and possibly win this thing.
Absolutely, and yeah, he's put the car in the right position at the right time, and he has some great teammates that work with him and put him out front, and now they're keeping him out front, and he's been the dominant car all night, and I think with 5 to go, he fully expects to be celebrating in victory lane shortly.
Well, the laps are clicking off. We're down to 5 to go, and
yeah, we can see.
I'm pretty sure he should have enough fuel to make it. And I know he's watching his gauges, and this is where it just seems like those last 5 laps just seem like they take forever.
You just want him to get over with now. You just want to run these things out as fast as possible. There is some lap traffic that's going to come into play here. The 17 and 96 are hooked up together, but much slower than the undamaged cars, and so they're going to have to negotiate some stuff, and that's always it can always get a little dicey when cars are in different positions and things like that, and we see that they both go a little high, and that lead pack gets around.
Well, they got another couple of cars in front of them. This might be where Joe can jump outside, maybe get a little bit of drive off of those guys to try and make a move too.
And let's we see that's the 52 of Rick Johnson and the 99 of Pops Margison, and the 51 of Dave Jandry. So all these cars are actually good cars that were part of this lead draft. That through maybe bad luck from not getting enough partners to just not being organized enough on pit lane have suffered, and of course Dave unfortunately got a black flag. But there's 3 decent cars here, so maybe Joe Cutt can get some benefit here. Especially from the 51. And if he could jump out with them right here, maybe he could get...
We're down to 2 to go, and like I say, with Buckham just running up there up front, it's just
yeah, it's tough.
They pretty much got it hands down.
We've seen this in the Super Speedway Series, of course, which you're a former champ of, so no surprise. But the Bochum boys really know how to handle themselves on the Super Speedways.
Yeah, I will give it to them. They got a great team and always work well together and make a lot of right calls, and that's what it takes to have a team championship.
Absolutely, and of course, Robert, of course, a real race car driver. I heard him mention that he's going to be running a late model in a truck at Bristol coming up. So, I mean, the guy knows his stuff. It's not just some dude that just sits in a computer room and practices. This guy's the real deal, and he knows how to run a team, and it shows. What this team just really taking the league by storm last season with, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 team championships, and of course Robert, everywhere he shows up he wins. So great season, and then I think they're showing that they're no fluke either. Here we go, Joe Cutt.
Yeah, Joe Cutt is going outside.
Finally decide it's make or break time here, and let's see. 7 car can help him out. I don't know if 2 cars can do it. The 303 now is a wild card here, and the 303 is, of course, another Balcom Motorsports car. So don't know if there's going to be any help there. But you can see that just that move lost a lot of ground, unfortunately. It's just too difficult with just so few cars. As we hit the checkered flag, that's it. And Troy Higgins, the big season opener, a Daytona win under his belt, so I'm sure he's thrilled with that. I don't know how many wins Troy has in the Pro Cup Series, but now he just got wrecked too by his teammates.
I'm not sure, but I think that's going to be his first victory in the Pro Cup Series.
Yeah, and if that's your first, what a great place to get your first at the Great Daytona Motor Speedway. So a great win by Troy and teammates Mark DeSenza, Sean Johnson bring it home. So a podium of Boca Motorsports drivers. Joe Cutt drove a great race and finished fourth. Just didn't have anything. Couldn't do it. It was literally 4 against 1, and in super speedway racing, 4 always beats 1.
Oh yeah, yes. When you're outnumbered like that, you're just along for the ride, and and hopefully hoping something happens to them where you can gain on them. But when you're outnumbered like that, you're just going to be sitting where you're at.
And there's our winner, the 19 car. Great win, and if that's his first win, that's sweet. Great way to start a season and get your first win, and have a lot of momentum going in for the rest of the season. And TG, as we said, was in that lead pack. He was driving a great race. Looked like he got left out on the pit stop. He pitted the next lap, and as a result, by himself, the pack pulled away, and he was not able to catch back up to him. But he still gets a top 5, so that's still a great finish by TG. 83 is Steve Weber, 6th. 151 of Guy Petra, 7th. Again, those guys were on the tail end of that lead pack. They pitted by themselves a lap earlier than the main group, and again, 2 cars were not fast enough to keep up with the rest of the pack, and they fell off. But lead lap finishes, so only 7 cars on the lead lap at the end. And then there's Robert in 8th with the black flag, or Robert would have been definitely in the mix for a win there. And then great finish by the only Pro Cup rookie, Jeff. Mike Gallen brings it home in 9th, so a top 10 finish for the first race by the rookie. That's a great way to start there, and your teammate, the 51, still manages to salvage a top 10.
Yeah, good run by Michael. I'm sure he's going to gain a lot of experience, and will really enjoy this season. And rounding out the rest of the field, we have Pops Jim Margison, who finished 11th lap down, and Rick, where he lost the draft, and Knight just kind of went from good to bad, finishes 12th. Bill Farmer, 13th. Ken Ron, also a lap down, and 14th. And Jerry Forklow, 15th. Our boss man, Jim Ray, finishes 16th. 17th is T-Roy. And yours truly, with the early incident on lap 1, finishes 18th. And not showing there 19th, but I'm pretty sure that was Sam Young, that first incident, where got in a wreck and just called it a night after that.
Yeah, and just the race started rough, but then went green about lap 10, and 70 green flag laps later and 3 green flag stops later, Troy Higgins made it happen. Clean stops, no penalties, pitted in the group properly, got his teammates with him, and that's the way you win super speedway races. The top 3, Boca Motorsports sweeping it, and good way to start the season for Boca Motorsports and for Troy. As we said, if that first win is always sweet, and to do it at Daytona, it makes it even sweeter, I think.
Yeah, great job by Troy again. Stellar performance. Like I say, he stayed in front pretty much all night long, and nailed those pit stops and did what he had to do to get this victory. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's his first Pro Cup victory, so he'll remember this one for a long time. So job well done to Troy.
Yeah, and Jeff, if you wanted to jump down into the racing channel to see if we could get a quick word with him, he is in there. See if he could just jump up for a second. Let me know, and I can drag him up and just get a quick word with him before we go off the air.
Okay, probably have to pull me back up too, but I'll see if I can grab him.
Okay. So, Jeff, we'll see if we can get the winner here. I don't like to go into the. If I go into the racing channel, of course you could hear the conversations, and sometimes those are private conversations the drivers have with each other, so not necessarily to be recorded.
You can pull us up, Greg.
Okay. All right, so we do have our leader, our winner, excuse me, Troy Higgins will be joining us shortly, and there he is. And Troy, I don't know if it's official. You'll make it official, but I heard this is the first Pro Cup win, and if so, that's a great way to start with a big win at Daytona.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, that's a long time coming there.
Awesome job, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, finally finished the bridesmaid about 9 times, and finally got it done this time. Thanks to my teammates, pushed me there to the win there.
Yeah, Troy, you stayed up front pretty much all night long, stayed out of trouble, nailed your pit stops, and tell you what, it's a blessing to have your teammates around you, just to help pull that train along. And you guys did what you needed to do, and great job tonight. Awesome win.
Appreciate it. Thanks again. It was a good run there.
Yeah, we saw that your teammate, of course, Robert Bokum, the leader of Bokum Motorsports, of course, got a black flag. It appeared, and but he played an instrumental part in the win, nonetheless, didn't he?
Exactly. Yeah, I was able to draft with him there and a couple of those runs, and able to save enough fuel there to make it there to at the end. So.
Well, speaking of fuel, how close were you guys there on those last couple of pit stops? Were you cutting it close to make it?
Yeah, I was about 2 to 3 pounds coming in each time, and there on the final lap there at the end of the race there, I was right at about 1.5 pounds when I crossed the finish line. So our goal was to get Robert up there up front on that last run so I could save enough fuel, but we didn't want to try to switch up positions and mess anything up. So we just rode it out and hoped that I made it.
Yeah, you did lead a good portion of that race out front, and I'm sure you saw that the fuel mileage isn't as kind when you're leading the pack as if you're tucked in.
Exactly. Yeah, we were about 2 laps ahead. Went to the good, and then when I led those couple series there and really cut into the gas for sure.
Well, you held on, and as Jeff said, you made very clean pit stops and stayed out of trouble there. And the pack came in and out of the pits very uniformly, and other guys fragmented out, and that's what cost them, and they fell off that lead pack. So great job, and congratulations on your first win, and a big win. Always a great win at Daytona.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for all you guys do here.
Oh, no problem. I'll put you back down into the race channel.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
All right, well, Jeff, there's our winner. First time Pro Cup winner, too. Always nice seeing first time winners, and you can tell he was pumped up. Like he said, 9 times bridesmaids, but who's counting, right?
That's right. He won't be able to sleep tonight. He'll be so excited. But I remember my first win. It was at Darlington, and actually won on fuel. But the very first win you just never forget. So I'm sure that'll stick with Troy for a long time.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you joining me, Jeff, and great job, and thanks for your insight, and hopefully you don't join me too often, so you can actually do what you're supposed to be doing, which is winning races.
That's right. I'll be on the other end of the track come Friday night, and at Daytona again, right?
That's right, Friday night. This is a little different Daytona. It's the Daytona Day track with the Aero 88 series. Friday night, Winston Cup action, the way it should be. Good old Winston Cup.
All right, well, we'll do it in the day, and hopefully the rain stays away, and we'll get this race in. I'm sure looking forward to it, and I'll definitely be there.
All right. Well, I'll see you there, and thanks for doing the work, and thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you on Friday night. FSBRacing.com. Check it out.